The Legend of Zelda arrived on the Japanese Famicom in 1986, then made its way to the Nintendo Entertainment System globally in 1987. We'll be playing the first quest glitch-free, cheat-free, and with a no-nonsense narration. Let's do it. First things first, since it's dangerous to go alone, let's grab the wooden sword. Before we even set foot in level 1, there's a lot we can do to make the adventure smoother. We'll be collecting early items and upgrades, starting with some money and bombs. To do that, we'll head east, fighting enemies along the way. Blue Tektites are great for rupee farming, so I'm making sure to stop for everyone we see. While we're on the way, I want to thank you for watching this video. There are plenty of other walkthroughs, speedruns, and playthroughs you could have chosen, so I really appreciate you spending your time here with mine. Along the eastern coast, we'll run into blue Octoroks, which have a better bomb rate drop than most enemies. Even though I managed to get a bomb drop, I'm still going to pick up 4 bombs from the shop here for 20 rupees. With the bombs in hand, we can backtrack to a secret cave holding our first heart container. We'll grab 3 heart containers before we even step into level 1, which will also let us pick up the white sword once we reach 5 containers in total. Along the way, I'll keep fighting rupee dropping enemies and snagging hidden rupee stashes. Since Link can only carry 255 rupees, I'll pace out when and which stashes we collect. By the time we enter level 1, we'll have the candle, the magical shield, and most importantly, the blue ring, which is the priciest of the bunch. Our second heart container can be found within this rock. We'll blast it open with a bomb. There's another hidden cave here where we can pick up more rupees. Inside of the tree we could risk gambling for rupees, but instead we're going to head north through this hidden path and pick up a guaranteed 100. We'll grab a letter from the old man at the top of the staircase. This will let us buy health potions from the shops in the world. Next, we can buy the candle from the shop a few screens over, which we'll use to uncover a few more secrets. From here, we'll make our way west where we can pick up the white sword. When we enter this screen, there's a Lionel blocking the way. It's a little dangerous to try and take out right now, so I'm going to leave and come back. It'll be in a different location. We just want to make our way around it, and we can grab the white sword from the old man in the cave. The white sword does twice the damage of the wooden sword. This will help us out a lot in the early dungeons. Now we're going to head back to the center of the map and then head westward. There are a few secrets we can find along the way. Since I have some extra bombs on hand, I'll open up this secret potion shop. By showing the letter, we'll be able to purchase potions, which I won't grab just yet. We need those rupees for other things first. We'll burn down one of these trees using the candle, revealing more rupees. And there'll be one more spot to the south where we can use the candle again. Now we'll head to the west and we'll burn the 5th tree from the right to reveal the next heart container. Just to the west, we'll use the candle to reveal a secret shop where we can buy the magical shield for a better price than most. There's more money underneath this tree. Now we'll make our way around to the south where we can find another hidden rupee stash. Alright, now let's head to the west. This is the potion shop that most players would normally find since it's not hidden. We're still not buying that potion, we have a few more things to do first. So we're going to head to the south near the Lost Woods. There's another hidden rupee stash here. To the west we can find an old woman who, if we were willing to pay, would give us a clue as to how to get through the Lost Woods. Link's really cheap and he's done this before, so we're not going to do that. There's another 100 rupee stash hidden beneath this tree. There's a smaller rupee stash to the northwest. We're going to pick it up since we're not quite at the maximum yet. So now that we have at least 250 rupees, we can buy the blue ring from the hidden shop. The blue ring cuts the damage that Link takes by half, so it's super useful to have early in the game. The shopkeeper also sells the bait at a good price. We'll pick it up later when we have more money and when we need it. Going through the Lost Woods lets us get over to the west side of the map earlier, otherwise we would need a ladder to get across the northern river. To get through, we need to head north, west, south, then west again. Now, it's not necessary to head to this part of the map yet, but doing so gets us early access to the power bracelet. This unlocks shortcuts in the overworld. The power bracelet's hidden underneath one of these soldiers. We can touch it to wake it up and then grab it. With the power bracelet, we can move a stone in this formation to unlock one of the shortcuts. There are 4 of these total in the world. We'll take the center pathway to head back near the beginning of the game. There's another hidden potion shop beneath this tree, and again we won't be buying it quite yet. Now we're ready to head into level 1. Now along with the bait and potions, we could have bought the arrows before heading into level 1 if we had the rupees. But we don't have the money and we don't really need them yet, so we'll save them for later. As we enter level 1, there's a locked door to the north. There's a well-known glitch that if we were to leave the dungeon and immediately come back, that door would open by itself. But we're playing glitch free, so we're not going to do that. Instead, we'll head to the west and get our first key. To the right, we'll find the second key, and we don't have to defeat all the Stalfos in this room, but they have a good chance of dropping rupees, so I'm going to do that. Both this room and the room to the east have shortcuts on the northern walls that you can blow open with bombs. I won't be doing that here as I want to show a hint that can be found on the west side of the dungeon, but on most playthroughs I recommend taking that shortcut as it's really not necessary to head west. Bats never drop items, so we only need to take out enough that we can make it out of the room safely. This cryptic hint could be referring to a location in the dungeon itself, and another interpretation is that it's meant to point Link to the eastern side of the overworld. We'll head to the east where we can find the dungeon's map. The southern wall is where we could have bombed through from the other side. We'll grab the map and then head to the northern room. This room is where we'll have our first encounter with the Goria, so we can defeat them all to grab another key. We'll make our way past these spike traps and push a block to get access to the bow. Now we can backtrack a few rooms and make our way to the east side of the dungeon. Defeating all the Gorias in this room will get us the boomerang. The boomerang is one of the handiest weapons in the game. It can temporarily stun many enemies and help pick up items from a distance. We'll only use this one for a short time as we'll get an upgrade in level 2. These hands are called Wall Masters. If they manage to grab Link, he'll get pulled back to the very beginning of the dungeon. They have a high chance of dropping rupees, so I want to be sure to defeat them all. A good way to do that is to stand by the door and use the boomerang to stun them first. Now we're ready to take on the dungeon's boss. The magical shield lets us block the projectiles. We need to hit it 3 times with the white sword to defeat it. And with that, we have our first piece of Triforce. Now we're going to head to level 2, but we're going to pick up more rupees and the arrows along the way. There are 100 rupees hidden underneath this tree. If we head north one screen, we'll find another small rupee stash. Now we'll buy the arrows from a shop nearby. With the arrows in hand, we'll head towards level 2, and I like to head to the desert for that as it's easy to navigate. I'm going to take these moblins out so it's safe to reveal another secret. Underneath one of these soldiers, we can find another rupee stash. Now I'll head south and east to find one more rupee stash. There's a hidden shop underneath this tree, though we won't need anything from it. Now we'll head west and we can reach level 2. We'll head east one room to have our first encounter with the ropes, these snake-like enemies. We can grab a key here, and I like to defeat all the ropes as they're easy to fight off and they have a high chance of dropping rupees. We've cleared out the west side of the dungeon and now we can head east. The dungeon is shaped like a crescent moon. In the easternmost room we'll find the compass. All of the rooms on the eastern border of the dungeon are connected by walls that can be blown open by bombs. This lets you conserve some keys if you'd like and skip some enemies. In later dungeons, I'll be skipping rooms that are traps and complete red herrings, but in this case I want to be sure to navigate to each one as there are some goodies to pick up. Interestingly, there's one Goria in the room that when defeated will cause all the other ones to instantly disappear. There's no room drop here, so defeating them all isn't necessary. In the next room we can find the map and we can see where we could have come through the south. Defeating all the ropes in this room will give us another key. And in the room to the east we'll find the blue Gorias. We definitely want to defeat them all as that'll get us the magical boomerang, which can travel the entire distance of the room instead of part way. Now we could have skipped this room entirely by bombing our way on the east side of the map, and none of these doors are locked, so we could just walk through, but defeating the Moldorm here will give us a key. Now I will bomb my way to the north this time, but I'm still going to come back and reveal what's in the western rooms. In this room we'll get a hint on how we can defeat the dungeon's boss. Bombing this western wall opens up a shortcut, but I want to head back and show what's in the other rooms. There's no room drop here, but defeating the ropes usually gets us some rupees. This room is where the shortcut would have taken us. We'll need to defeat the Gorias to open the northern wall. Defeating them all will also get us some bombs, which we'll need against the Dongo. Dodongo can be defeated in two ways. Dodongo will end up eating a bomb that's placed in its path. Doing this twice will defeat it. Now another way is by using the bomb's smoke to stun it instead, after which we can use the sword to defeat it. In my opinion that's harder to pull off, but doing so will always get you a bomb drop after. I didn't do that this time, but we'll see it in later dungeons. Alright, level 2 is completed and we're ready to head to level 3. Level 3 is on the western side of the map near the Lost Woods. We don't have much to do along the way, but now that we have the rupees, we are finally going to buy a potion from the shop before we get there. The red potion can be used twice before it's consumed, and the blue potion only once. We definitely want the red one. Even though the key is already available, I like to defeat all the Zols as they often drop rupees. Since we have the white sword, we can one-shot them. If we still had the wooden sword, they would actually split into gels, which aren't worth defeating. The dark nuts are only vulnerable from their sides and back. We actually don't need to defeat all of these here, but doing so will get you a bomb drop. There's a shortcut on the eastern wall that actually lets us skip most of the dungeon or reduce the number of keys we use. We'll see where it leads later. We'll grab the compass here and then head to the western room. We'll need to defeat all the dark nuts here if we want to unlock the southern door. Now there are a ton of dark nuts here, but we don't actually need to fight them. If you do defeat them all, they'll leave a bomb drop, but I don't think it's worth it. We just want to head down to the staircase on the east. This is where we can grab the raft, which is necessary to reach level 4. Now we could head east through that shortcut I opened earlier straight to the dungeon's boss, but I'm going to head to the north side of the dungeon anyway to show what's there. In this room we'll have our first encounter with the bubble enemy. Taking a hit from the bubble doesn't damage Link at all, but it does prevent him from using the sword for a few moments. When encountered with other enemies, they can be a real challenge, especially in later dungeons. Defeating all these bats will reveal more bombs. I'm already at the max, so I'm going to leave these behind. We'll fight off the Zols and then push a block to open the door to the north. This is a hint about getting the white sword on the north side of the map, which we've already done. In this last room we can find another key and we'll have to fight our way out. In this room we'll find the map, and if we bomb the eastern wall, we'll get a shortcut directly to the dungeon's boss. This shortcut, combined with the one to the south, lets you get to the dungeon's boss really quickly if you choose to do so. In my opinion, this shortcut is worthwhile, as defeating this dark nuts really doesn't get you much. In the next room, defeating all of the enemies gets you 5 rupees. The dungeon's boss is a 4-handed flower thing called Manhandla. Now if you're skilled or lucky, you can place a bomb directly in the middle of it and take out all 4 of its hands in one shot. That's difficult to do, so if you want to be conservative, you can try and hit each one of its hands with the sword once, and then drop the bomb. That way if you don't take out all of its hands, you'll have less work to do when it starts moving quickly. I didn't manage to pull either of those off this time, so I'm kind of brute forcing my way through here, but Link will get his life refilled when we complete the dungeon, so it's not that big of a deal. Alright, level 3 is complete, and we're ready for level 4, which isn't far away. We'll head north and east a couple of screens, and then we can take the raft to the center of the lake. We'll start by heading into the western room where we can pick up a key. In this room we'll have our first encounter with Vyres. Attacking with the white sword causes them to split into Kisses, which never drop items when defeated. In level 4, all rooms the Vyres are found in don't have room drops, so there's nothing to be gained by defeating them all. It's best to just avoid them. We'll grab the key and just make our way to the west. Again, we only need to fight enough to make our way to the next room safely. For now, we can only head east. Now here we will need to defeat all the Vyres to open the locked door. In this room we'll have the first encounter with the Like-Likes. They are 2 Blake enemies that will latch on to Link. If they manage to grab Link for long enough, we'll lose the magical shield and need to rebuy it, so that's best avoided. I like to use the boomerang to stun them so I can take them out more safely. With all the enemies defeated, we can push this block to open a secret passage. Down below is where we'll find the ladder, which will let us cross over water. In the room to the north we can find the dungeon's map, but opening this door would be a waste of a key. We'll see why in a little bit. With the ladder we can cross over the water that's in this room and head north. Now we can head east into the map room and we'll see why we didn't need to bother with the door. Here we'll find another manhandler, but we don't need to fight it. Instead we can bomb the wall to the east and take an alternate route. Now this room can be bombed on all 4 sides, letting you take a big shortcut through the dungeon. The eastern wall gets us closer to the boss, but I'm still going to head to the north and show what's there. This is a hint on how to find level 5. We'll get there soon. We will need to take out all the wires in this room to open that locked door. The dungeon's boss is Gliok. Its only weak point is its heads. With that, level 4 is complete. There are some items we can pick up before we head to level 5. One of those items is the magical sword, which is the last sword upgrade. It can be found in the graveyard. How would we even think to look there? Just to the south, there's a woman in a cave who gives a hint for this, although it isn't all that specific and would require some searching if we didn't know where to go. In order to be given the magical sword, we'll first need to have 12 heart containers. We currently have 10, but there's 2 more we can now pick up. So we're going to head to the east side of the map near where we bought the bombs at the beginning of the game, grab those heart containers, and then make our way to the magical sword. With the ladder from level 3, we can now reach this heart container. And with the raft from level 4, we can reach the heart container on this island. So now we need to get to the graveyard north of the Lost Woods. We could just walk there, but alternatively we could use the overworld shortcuts that we unlocked with the power bracelet earlier. We'll head up this stairway and then we can find one of the shortcut points. Taking the left route here will get us closer to the graveyard. Now we'll head south and west and we'll reach the graveyard. There's one specific tombstone we need to find and push to get access to the magical sword. Everything else will just waste your time. Now that we have the magical sword, we can head back to the shortcut point and keep making our way to level 5. This time we'll take the right stairway to head to the east side of the map. From here we'll head west and level 5 will be to the north, but getting there is something similar to the Lost Woods where you need to know the route. In level 4 we could find a hint where the old man instructed us to walk into the waterfall, so let's do that. And here we'll find another greedy woman who will only help us out if we pay her money. Link is still cheap, so we're not going to do that. If you did pay her enough, what she would tell you to do is to go up the mountain ahead, so let's go back and do that. We'll need to head upwards 4 times in order to reach level 5. If we head to the east, we'll have our first encounter with the Pole's voice. Now the game's instruction manual says it hates loud noise, and while this is a hint for how to deal with them in the Japanese version of the game, in the North American version, not so much. In our case, we're going to equip the bow and arrow and we can take them out with one hit. If we bomb the wall to the north, we'll get a hint on how to deal with this dungeon's boss. Here we'll have our first encounter with the mummy-like enemies called Gibdos. Gibdos are slow-moving and not that intimidating. I like to stun them with the boomerang and then finish them off with the sword. Here we have 3 Dodongos to deal with, which I'll do in a moment, but first let's grab the map from the room to the north. This time I had a little more luck with the smoke tactic, where I'd feed the Dodongo 1 bomb to cause it to stop, and then I would time a second bomb to stun it with smoke before finishing off with the sword. Doing this causes it to always drop bombs, which can be a net positive. Now it wasn't actually necessary to fight these at all, which I'll show in just a moment. For now let's head to the room to the west where we can find another key. Now if we head to the room to the south, the door will lock behind us, so let's fight off all these Gibdos. When we defeat them all, the door does not open. Instead, we can use a bomb on either the east or west wall to proceed. And in fact, we could have bombed the east wall from the other side and skipped those Dodongos altogether. The blue dark nuts are stronger and faster than the orange ones. We'll need to take them out to push open that staircase. This is an underground pathway that will lead us to the north side of the map. Several blue dark nuts in an open room can be a challenge, so I'm going to use some bombs to help out. We'll push this block to reveal a stairway which will get us the whistle. Let's head back into the previous room and then head south. We'll find a key here, and while that seems like that might be it, we can bomb the eastern wall to find something even more beneficial. If we pay 100 rupees, we can increase our maximum bomb count from 8 to 12. We definitely want that. So now we have the whistle and the bomb upgrade, we'll need to backtrack towards the beginning of the dungeon. We'll go through the bombed pathway, and we'll need to take out the Gyptos again to unlock that northern door. The Dodongos are back, but let's not deal with them again. Instead, we're going to head to the east. If we take out all the Gyptos, we'll get a key. The room to the west heads to the map room. We don't need to head there again. Instead, we'll head north. Defeating all the dark nuts here will get us the dungeon's compass. We can use the ladder as a safe point and take them out more easily. Defeating all the Gyptos in this room will also earn you a key. Taking out all the Poles' voices isn't necessary. If we bomb the wall to the north, we can find a hint on how to best deal with them if we hadn't figured it out yet. Now the Japanese Famicom had a microphone built into the controller. If you blew onto the microphone or made enough noise, it would actually instantly defeat all Poles' voices in the room. The North American NES didn't have a microphone, so instead they opted to go with a bow and arrow. The dungeon's boss is Digdogger. After using the whistle, it'll become vulnerable and we can defeat it with the sword. The room to the south is a trap. We'd have to fight our way out with no reward, so we'll skip it. With that, we've completed level 5 and we can make our way to level 6. Now we need to make our way to level 6. Level 6 is near the graveyard, but unfortunately we can't head back east out of here to the shortcut point. So instead we're going to make it over there the old-fashioned way. On our way we'll make a slight detour to grab the last hidden rupee stash. We'll drop a bomb on this wall and then we can grab those last secret rupees. There's the shortcut point we've used before. We'll head west one screen, and then we can find level 6 to the north. In this dungeon, we'll have our first encounter with the Wizrobe enemies. The orange ones will appear and attack with a projectile, while the blue ones will move around. The magical shield will let us block those projectiles, while the smell shield does not. The magical shield helps us out a lot here, so I recommend making sure you have it. Now we'll grab a key here which would let us open that door to the north. We get a hint on how to defeat the dungeon's boss. If you already know how to do that, there's no need to go into this room. We'll head back to the west and then make our way to the north side of the dungeon. Now I should mention that if the Wizrobes seem invisible at times that they shouldn't be, that's an artifact of my video capture and it's not the game. The game uses a sprite flicker to give them a ghostly effect, and my video capture frame rate just isn't fast enough to show it. Now I got grabbed by that like, but not long enough to lose my shield, so I was lucky. Now we don't actually need to fight all these Wizrobes, though I did anyway. Defeating them all will get you 5 rupees. You can head to the door to the north at any time, but there's actually a better route to the east if you bomb the wall open. I'll still head to the north to show what's there, though we'll see where that bombed wall leads later on. Here we'll find another Gleeok, this time with 3 heads. We're trapped in this room until we defeat it. Defeating all the enemies here will get us the map. We'll head north where we'll need to deal with some Wizrobes, after which we'll be able to find a passage that will let us get the magic wand. We can bomb the east wall here to open a shortcut, which I'll actually come back through later, though in fact the rooms to the east of here are optional. Exploring them can earn you a key as well as another old man hint, but we're going to need to deal with more Wizrobes in them. You might just want to skip them altogether. Combining the likes, Wizrobes, and bubbles together in one room makes for a challenging situation. So here's that hint I mentioned earlier. It gives a clue on how to access level 7. Bombing the wall to the west reveals another passage out of here. On the opposite side of the room we can see the wall we bombed earlier, and we'll take it out of here. Now we've done a loop and we've come back to the main hallway of this part of the map. If we head to the south, we can see where the shortcut that we bombed earlier before the Gleeok would have taken us. We'll take the key and head south, skipping these Wizrobes. With the Master Sword we can defeat the Vires in one hit. They won't split into pieces now. Again, the combination of enemies in this room makes for challenging combat. We do need to take them all out to move forward. This passageway will take us to the last part of the map. And when we exit, we don't need to fight the enemies here. If we defeat all the Vires in this room, we'll earn a key, and we're almost at the dungeon's boss. After I head to the room to the west, I'm going to head directly north. The room to the south of it is another trap, forcing us into more combat just for some bombs. It's not worth it, and my health is already low, so let's just finish up here. we got a hint at the dungeon's start on how to deal with Goma, which is 1 arrow to the eye. Alright, just barely made it out of that one, but we're ready for level 7 now. Level 7 is close to level 3, and it's also close to the Western Fairy Pond. So we'll make our way through the Lost Woods, and before we head directly to level 7, let's finally buy the bait from the shop where we bought the blue ring earlier on. We'll need this bait in order to complete level 7. In level 6, we got the hint that there are secrets where fairies don't live. That's referring to this fairyless pond. If we blow the whistle, it'll reveal the entrance to level 7. We'll start level 7 by heading east, where we can find 2 moldworms. They don't need to be dealt with, but if you decide to, they'll drop some bombs. Defeating the Keeses in this room isn't necessary, and bombing that north wall will open a shortcut. We'll see where it leads later. These Gorias could be skipped as well, though if you decide to defeat them, it'll unlock that north door where we can find another hint. This points us to a secret passage on the northeast part of the dungeon that's necessary in order to complete it. We could skip this dig dogger as well, though it's easy to deal with and defeating it will give you some bombs. In the last room in this corridor, we just need to grab that key and then we'll be done here. This is the room immediately north of the entrance. We'll take care of the Gorias here and then we can make our way through one of these walls. Defeating these Keeses again isn't necessary, but doing so will drop some bombs, which just happen to spawn right underneath Link. In the southern room we can find a key, and though we don't need to defeat these ropes, I like to in case they drop rupees. Just like in level 5, we don't actually need to fight these Dodongos, but if you choose to do so, they'll drop 5 rupees. This is the second and final bomb upgrade. We definitely want to take this. It'll increase our maximum bomb count to 16. Now heading to the east, we can see where those other shortcut walls I bombed through lead to. We can grab the compass and then head back into the previous room and north. You can again choose to take out this Dig Dogger, though doing so won't earn you anything this time, so instead let's bomb the wall to the east. Since the door to the north is locked with a key, we could skip these Gorias, but if you choose to fight them, you can earn some rupees. Now this Goria isn't grumpy that you've been taking out his buddies, instead that's his stomach grumbling. If we drop the bait, we can get to the next room. We'll grab the map here and then we can bomb the northern wall to get to a secret area. This room and the one to the east aren't strictly necessary to visit, but this one will earn us some rupees and the next one will find a key. We will need to fight our way out of this one if we entered it. Alright, now let's head to the south. We will need to bomb the eastern wall to move forward. Defeating the Gorias here is optional. In this room, we do need to defeat those Goriyas to open up the stairway. This is where we can find the red candle, which can be used multiple times on a single screen, unlike the blue candle. This makes it easier to search for secrets, and it actually makes it viable as a weapon. Defeating all these Goriyas again isn't necessary, but doing so will earn you some bombs. This Moldorm room is completely optional, but heading in here gives you a chance for some easy bombs. Defeating all 3 of these Dodongos again earns you more bombs, but we're just going to head to the east instead. Now at the beginning of the dungeon we got a hint that there's a secret at the tip of the nose. That's this room. We'll first need to clear it out in order to find that secret. That's the last wall master. Now we can push a block and continue forward. Combat, again, isn't necessary in this room, but we'll clear out enough Goriyas that we can bomb that east wall safely. The dungeon's boss is a repeat from level 1. 2 hits from the magical sword will get us through. And with that, we've completed level 7, and we can move on to level 8, which can be found on the east side of the map, really close to that first bomb shop we visited. So at this point we have everything we need from the overworld. The last heart container is in level 8, and the last items are in level 8 and 9. Level 8 is underneath this conspicuous looking tree. We'll burn it down with the red candle and head inside. We'll head to the eastern room to grab a key, and then we'll head west to find the magic book. Now there's a big part of level 8 that's actually optional and hidden behind a bombable wall. We definitely want to explore that part of the dungeon as it'll let us find the magical key, which can be used infinitely, making level 9 easier to get through. The magical book powers up the wand. It'll leave behind a flame after hitting an enemy that can damage them for a short time, just like the candle. Alright, now we'll get back to the dungeon's entrance and then we can head north. We don't need to fight here, instead we'll bomb the northern wall and keep making progress. Now we do need to defeat the Dark Nuts to open up the north and western doors, so I'll do that now. Before we move forward, we'll grab the compass from the room on the east. Now we'll head back west and explore the next room. Defeating the Dark Nuts in this room will earn you a key, and if you're planning on getting the magical key, you just might want to skip these. This northern door is optional as well, but there's a hint in the room beyond it that I want to show. The blue Goma takes 3 arrows this time to defeat. Fighting in this room is again optional, but if you decide to do so, you can earn 5 rupees. That's a lot of blue Dark Nuts, and we're going to skip them for now. We're going to go somewhere that will cause them to respawn, so let's just bomb that northern wall and move on. We'll defeat this manhandler so we can earn the dungeon's map. We'll bomb to the west and we can find another hidden rupee room. Taking out all the enemies here will earn you some bombs. Now this Goma we do need to deal with to open those doors. The northern room is a trap filled with dark nuts. Defeating them all earns you a bomb drop, which probably isn't worth it. So we'll fight through this next room so we can reach the stairway that will let us get the magical key. Now that we have the key, we're going to head back south to the room with the blue dark nuts. We'll need to fight them this time so we can unlock that eastern door. Now in the next room, we don't need to fight here, you can just head down that stairway, though if you do choose to fight, you can earn some bombs. We're almost at the end of the dungeon here. To unlock the western door, you'd have to defeat the enemies, though the real way to go is to the north. We can bomb that wall to proceed. If you do head to the west though, there is one more hint to find. Now, this very cryptic clue is supposed to give you a hint that if you defeat 10 enemies in a row without taking damage, and you defeat that 10th enemy with a bomb, it'll drop more bombs. Maybe if you're playing this game in 1997 that would be helpful, but we didn't even need to visit this wing. Let's head north through that bombed wall, and then we'll find another Gliok, which is this dungeon's boss. Alright, level 8 is complete and we only have level 9 to go. Underneath this tree is another potion shop, which we won't need right now, but I just wanted to show where it was. So here we are at Spectacle Rock. We can drop a bomb on the left side to open the entrance to level 9. Now before we head down, I just want to show there's another potion shop here to the west. Combat in level 9 can be challenging, so it's here if you need it. Now, the difficulty spikes greatly in level 9, and the dungeon itself is a maze. There are many rooms that don't need to be visited. The dungeon is designed so that you'll need to enter several times, make a map on your own in order to figure out your way through it. Now, unlike the previous dungeons, I'm not going to be showing those optional rooms. This is the route I would take if you come in with the magical key. As soon as we enter, we'll head north 2 rooms and then bomb the wall on the west. There are 2 items that we need to find. The first is the red ring, which is technically optional, but you'll want to find it. And the last item will be the silver arrows, which will be needed to defeat Ganon. Climbing up the other side of the stairs, we'll need to head to the east. And no need to fight in this room, we can just bomb the wall to the south. Defeating all these wizards will earn us the compass, which technically you don't need, but I wanted to be sure to collect it. In this room we'll find the first Patra enemy, which can be super annoying. We don't need to defeat this one, so let's skip it and head south. Here we'll bomb the wall to the east. And if we want the dungeon's map, we'll need to take out this Patra. You first need to take out the small heads flying around in a circle, and then you can take out the core. We can skip combat in this room and bomb the northern wall. Now in this last room we need access to those stairs, so we do have to defeat the Wizrobes. This is where we can find the red ring. This is the final defense upgrade, reducing damage Link takes by another half compared to the blue ring. This means that Link takes a quarter of the damage he normally would as compared to when the game started. Alright, now we need to head back to the room where we found the first Patra, and we can make our way north from there in order to proceed. That's a locked door, so we can get through it without fighting the Patra. We'll need to bomb the wall to the west to continue on. There are more Wizrobes we need to defeat here, so we can open up a stairway. Now we're on the west side of the dungeon and we need to find those silver arrows. I'm fighting these Zulls in case they drop hearts, but we're ending up with more rupees. Defeating these keys will earn you 5 rupees, which I didn't actually need, but if you need some money for potions, it's an easy way to get some. Now we do need to defeat this Patra in order to open that stairway. Immediately out of the stairs, we'll bomb the northern wall. And we do have to do combat here in order to open up another stairway. Now we've got the silver arrows and we just need to make our way to Ganon. We're going to backtrack back to the room where we fought the Patra to open the stairway. Now we'll head north by 2 rooms. They're both filled with likes. They don't need to be defeated, but I'd recommend fighting enough that you can safely move through the room without getting caught. We'll get locked in the room to the west of the left eye of the map. Don't get fooled into heading north. We need to bomb the western wall for the right path. The locked door to the south is again a red herring. We'll need to do some combat to open up another stairway. Now those stairs took us to the very north end of the map. We'll need to bomb the western wall to proceed to the next room. Thankfully, these enemies are easier to deal with. We'll need to take them out to open that next stairway. Now there's one final Patra to deal with before we can confront Ganon. Now I made it this far in the game without using a potion, but I'm not going to push my luck when confronting Ganon. Let's get our life to full health and then get ready for the last fight. Ganon turns invisible and moves back and forth across the room, pelting Link with projectiles. You can track the projectiles to get an idea where Ganon is, stab him 4 times with a magical sword, and when he turns red, fire off a single silver arrow. And that's it, we've done it. The first quest of the original Legend of Zelda is complete. This video is dedicated to my dad, who first introduced me to the game back in the late 80s. He's always had a fondness for it, but hadn't managed to see it through to the end until late 2024, when he decided to give it another shot. Not only did he complete the first quest, but he went on to conquer the second as well. Great job, Dad. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the journey.